Hey OMies, I'm Ewashkiw from Adventure Yoga, and this is a level 1 or an open level Hatha yoga practice. It's suitable for everyone. We're going to do some easy groundwork today. Easy, of course, is relative. It's all about the work that you put in, and that determines what you get out of it. If you like to sit on a blanket or a block when you're in seated poses, you might want to grab that before you start class today. Other than that, I think we're ready to go. Have a comfortable seat, and I will meet you there in just a few seconds. Welcome. Today we're going to work on stability through some groundwork, grounding poses, and poses that keep us close to the ground, where we can be more stable. We need stability in our lives and in our body in order for us to be able to help others, to serve others. And as much as your yoga practice is personal and it's for you, my goal is that you're going to take this work out into your life, into whatever adventures you live, and in that, you will share this work with others. You will serve others. And that all starts with stability in your life, stability in your practice. And that's what we're going to work with today. Please look down at the ground or close your eyes. And steady your breath. We practice this work of steadiness, of stability in our breath, so that we can recreate that in our body. It also helps us be steady in our mind. Relax your shoulders. Relax in your lower body so it gets heavier onto the ground. From there, stretch up through your spine. Stretch to the sides of your body. To help you lift up, move your belly back towards your spine a little. Lift through your middle torso. Lift through your upper torso. Lengthen through your neck. And again, move your shoulders down. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. If your gaze is towards the ground, lift your gaze slightly. Take your right hand, place it on the ground beside you with your fingers pointing out to the side. Stretch your left arm up. Push down through your left hip and bend your right elbow and side bend to the right. That push down through your left hip will make more sense now. Push weight into the left side of your pelvis. Keep it grounded. Bend your right elbow and side bend more. Think about your left arm. If it's anything like mine, it's bending. Work to straighten it. Stretch. And then use your right hand to push down so you can come up. Bring your left hand to the ground beside you. Stretch your right arm up. Push down through your right hip, bend your left elbow, and side bend. And really push down through your right hip. Stretch long through the right side of your body. Stretch out through your right fingers. Stretch your right arm straight. Push through your left hand to come up. Little twist. Hold above your right knee with your left hand. Take your right hand onto your lower back. Move your belly back towards your right hand. Stretch up through your spine and twist a little. Move your shoulders back and sit up tall. Just a gentle twist, starting to open our body up. Fire up the muscles that help us hold ourselves up. and come back to center. Take your right hand above your left knee, take your left hand onto your lower back, and then think about your belly. Move your belly back towards your left hand. Sit up tall and twist a little. Move your shoulders back, stretch up through your spine. And come back to center. Take one hand and touch the space around your belly button. So roughly the center of your palm over your belly button. And think about all of that space that you're touching with your hand. Move that in towards your belly button a little. Move it back towards your spine a little. And lift it up into the bottom of your rib cage a little. So we're talking about a little bit. So I've said that a lot, a little bit of engagement to your belly. This is open level, so don't let this next thing blow you away and be like, I don't know what he's talking about. Stop. But some of you will know your bandhas. If you know what the bandhas are, this is Uddiyana Bandha that I'm working towards. So these are some stages of that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's cool. Bandha means a lock, and it's ways that we use our muscles to help control us, to help stabilize our work. All you need to think about doing is moving your fingers and the heel of your hand, just drawing them in towards your navel a little, so your belly draws in a little. Then move your belly back towards your spine a little, and lift all of that into the bottom of your ribs a little. You'll feel that the muscles at the front of your belly engage slightly. We're going to work with that today. So now bring your right hand onto your lap again, and recreate that action without your hand there. Move your belly in towards your navel a little, back towards your spine a little, and up into the bottom of your ribs a little. Sit up tall. You can probably really feel some work happening. This will help us be more stable in our bodies, and it will help us find more stability as we move through life. Come into downward facing dog. To find your down dog, start in plank pose. Unless you just know down dog, you can go there and meet us there. So plank pose, shoulders over your wrists, roughly heels over the balls of your feet. And then bend your knees, shift your chest back, lift your hips up. Push through your hands, bring your ears in line with your arms, and breathe. Think about your belly. Draw the sides of your belly in a little, move it back toward your spine a little, and up into the bottom of your ribs, which, because we're upside down now, is down into the bottom of our ribs. Think about the very bottom of your butt. Lift that up towards the ceiling so that you get a little more length through your spine. And then walk your hands back to your feet. And when you can, bring your heels down to the ground. Keep touching the ground, so bend your knees as much as you need to so that you can keep touching the ground. And then relax your head and fold over your legs. If you can do forward fold with legs straight, be my guest. Push your fingers down and forward. Move your chest back towards your legs. Uttanasana, or forward fold. And then walk your hands forward. Come back into downward facing dog. I recommend knees bent, but if you're used to practicing this with straight legs and that's how you would like it today, do that. If that's what's going to help you be more stable in your mind, in your body. Lift through your tailbone, the very bottom of your spine. Move your chest back a little, bring your ears in line with your arms. And then look forward. Bend your knees, everyone, and walk forward. And come to the forward fold at the top of your mat. Have your feet about hip distance apart. If you can have your legs straight and touch the ground,
You may. But I want you to have your hands touching the ground as a priority here. So if you need to bend your knees so that you can touch the ground, do. Slide your hands beside your feet. You may need to bend your knees more so that you can touch the ground there. Then step your right leg straight back. Come to a lunge. Now I'm pretty far back on my mat, so my lunge length isn't as long as I'd like it. So I'm just going to use my toes to pull my left foot forward. The length I'm looking for is your right heel over the ball of your right foot and your left knee over your ankle. It's a pretty long stance. Push to your fingertips. Bring your right knee down to the ground. Low lunge has a fancy Sanskrit name, Ashwa Sanchalanasana. You don't have to worry about that. I recommend fingertips here, wrists under your shoulders. Fingertips give you a little more height because the ground is pretty far away. And then imagine that your hand is touching your belly again. Draw the sides of your waist in slightly and move it back towards your spine. And then lift it into the bottom of your ribs a little. Lift through your chest and look forward. Keep that stability in your belly. Push through your left foot, your right knee, and your right toes, and lift your torso up. And bring your hands to your heart, prayer. And then do that again in your belly. Move your belly in and back, lift it slightly, and twist to the left, and then lean in and touch your right arm onto your left leg, twisted lunge. Push with your right arm, stretch your left elbow out, and twist your spine. Now to help us find a little more stability, squeeze your legs in, move your belly back, and lift your belly into your bottom of your ribs so you can lengthen your spine a little. Twisted lunge. Come back to center and bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your right knee off the ground. And now stepping forward it's a pretty big step. So if you can do it with one step, step forward. Or if you need to do a few different steps to get you there, pause and step and get your right foot in line with your left foot. Uttanasana. Step your left leg back. Lunge. Let's start there and find the length for a lunge. Left heel over the ball of your foot, right knee over your ankle. Look forward and then bring your left knee down. Low lunge. Push through your fingertips. Push down through your feet. Move your belly in and back. Lift it into your ribs and then lift your chest up. Find a little more length for your spine here. Push through your feet, keep the toning of your belly and lift your chest, lift your torso, bring your hands to your heart. Stretch up through your spine and twist to the right, twisted lunge. Touch your left arm onto your right leg, stretch your right elbow up and out and twist. I feel unstable here. I'm saying that because I want you to know that stability is relative. We work for stability and we do our best. So push down through your left knee, your right foot, and hug your inner thighs in to help stabilize. Move your belly in and back towards your spine a little, and then lift it into the bottom of your ribs to help you stretch out with a little more stability in your torso. And then untwist. Bring your hands down to the ground. Stay here. And then shift your hips back a little. Lift your right toes up. Walk your hands back. Work to get your left hip over your left knee, and then slide your left foot forward. Now, my sticky mat is really sticky. It's handy sometimes, but here it's like, I can't get it forward. So you can pick it up and take it forward a little bit at a time, or all the way until you can get your right leg straight. This is half Hanuman pose. So let's really work for left thigh straight up and down. because when you get your foot forward, you can shift forward some. So work for left thigh straight up and down, right leg straight out in front of you, and then straighten your right ankle. What I mean by that is you can turn your foot in easily here. Work to have the ball of your big toe and the ball of your baby toe moving away from you at the same rate, rather than your foot turning in or turning out. Straight ankle. Be up on your fingertips here. If the ground is too far away, you can get some props here. You can get some books and put them under your hand. So you can just pause the video, go get books. You can do this with your hands on your hip, but that's often painful on your back knee. Lift through your chest. To help get a little more stable, pull back with your right heel, pull forward with your left knee. Yeah, and sound effects make it even more stable. Tone your belly slightly. Yoga's very serious, by the way. No sound effects. Wait, I love sound effects. Move your belly back towards your spine, then lift it so you can lift through your chest more. As you do that, as you lift your chest, it'll shift forward a little, and you're going to feel your right leg more. It's going to let you know that it's there and getting a stretch. That's good. That's partly what this pose is for. Ardha Hanumanasana, or half Hanuman pose. Move your right hip back a little, like you're trying to stick your butt back behind you, so you feel the back of your right leg even more. Move your chest forward a little more by pulling back with your fingertips, and then recommit to your belly. Draw it in and back slightly, lift it into the bottom of your ribs. And then bend your right knee, shift your hips forward so you can bring your right foot down, walk your hands forward, lift your left knee up. Bend your left knee and step it forward. One big long step or many steps forward, whatever you need to do. And then step your right leg back. Bring your right knee down to the ground. Shift your hips back, walk your hands back. Pick your left foot up and work to straighten your left leg. So wiggle your left foot forward, you can pick it up, you can slide it forward if your mat allows that. And then again, look for your right hip over your right knee. Right thigh straight up and down. Left leg straight, left ankle straight. Be up on your fingertips here. If you can't touch the ground, again, use your props, get some books, stack them up, or yoga blocks, should you have yoga blocks. And then think about your left butt, stick your left butt back so that you start to feel your left leg more. Pull back a little with your fingers so you can stretch your chest forward, and then come back to this Uddiyana Bandha, this toning of your belly that we're working on. Draw your belly in a little and back towards your spine. Lift it into the bottom of your ribs and find more length for your spine. Move your chest forward some. Move your hips back. Oh, hello, leg. And then bend your left knee. Shift your hips forward so you can bring your left foot to the ground. Walk your hands forward. Place your hands flat. We're going to step back. So slide your left foot back. Bring both knees down to the ground. Place your feet flat. And sit on your heels. Now for some of you, this is going to be painful at the front of your ankles. What you can do is grab a blanket. So again, pause the video and grab a blanket and roll the blanket up and place it underneath your ankles. You can also do that with your yoga mat. You can roll your yoga mat up. You have to come out of this shape for a moment, but roll it up until it's under the top of your ankles. So some of us have tight fronts of our ankles. Some of us have tight backs of our ankles. It just depends on what we do in our daily life. So you can stay here, or I'm going to unroll the mat. Makes a good sound effect. You know how I love sound effects.
And sit up tall. This is called Vajrasana or Thunderbolt pose. So this thing we're doing with our belly, it's called Uddiyana Bandha. Uddiyana means upward flying. Pretty cool sounding, right? You can use this to fly. Upward flying, and Bandha means lock, like a lock on a door. So it's a lock of our muscles to help us lift up. That's what it means. Touch one of your hands to your belly, so that the center of your palm roughly is over your navel. And then imagine that you're drawing your fingers and the heel of your hand in towards each other slightly. You can even do that so that you draw in slightly, so the sides of your waist come in a little. And then move your belly back towards your spine, and then lift that up into the bottom of your ribs. That's the upward flying part of the lock. Keep that, and bring your hand back down to your lap. I really like using touch like that to help you feel what's happening. I think that response you get from your body is really useful for seeing like, oh yeah, something really is happening. There is this drawing in, there is this moving back, there is this lifting up. And that's helping create stability for your lower back, for your whole torso. It even helps draw your limbs into your body, believe it or not. It's pretty cool. Sit up tall in Vajrasana. Bring your hands down to the ground in front of you. Lift your butt up. So if you've got the blanket roll under your ankles, you'll probably want to get out of the way as we do this next thing. Lift your butt. So if you've got the blanket roll, pull it out of the way. Move your feet over to the left so that your right foot comes underneath your left foot. And then walk your hands over to the right, move your hips over to the right, and sit down. Now you're going to be really on your right hip here. So place your hands on the ground, lift your butt up, and shift your hips over to the right more so that you can get your left hip closer to the ground. It's not on the ground here. And then just adjust a little. So my leg was stuck to the skin of my calf, so I just opened them up a little. So it's left foot on top of your right foot, knees over to the left a little, and you are leaning onto your right hip. My left butt cheek is off the ground here. Take your left hand, hold above your right knee. Take your right hand, reach back behind you. So at the beginning when we did the twist, we touched our lower back. Here, reach back. Tone your belly, lift it slightly, and twist to the right. So Thunderbolt, the pose we were just doing, is Vajrasana. This is Vajrasana. Move your shoulders back, lift through your spine. And to add a little flourish, look over your left shoulder and lift your chin. And smile. And then untwist. Walk your hands forward. We're going to just switch sides. So lift your hips, swing your feet over to the right. So your left foot is under your right. Walk your hands in and down. Bring your left hip down to the ground. Shift your hips over to the left just a little bit more. If you need to adjust what's happening in your legs or feet for comfort, do. Take your right hand above your left knee. Reach your left hand way back behind you. And tone your belly. Do your Uddiyana Bandha. Get a little lift and twist. Move your shoulders back and down. Stretch up through your spine. And then for the cherry on top, look over your right shoulder and lift your chin. And smile. And untwist. Come back to center and then swing your legs around in front of you. Stretch them straight out. For Dandasana, it means staff pose, like a walking stick staff. So the idea is your legs are straight like a walking stick. Sit up tall and bring your hands beside your hips. Move the space around your belly in and back a little, And then lift it into the bottom of your ribs so you can sit up nice and tall. And then take one hand and touch your lower back. If you can feel your vertebrae sticking out into your hand, I can feel that a little bit. Move your belly back, lift into your ribs, and work to move your vertebrae forward in your lower back so they go in. And then move the bottom of your ribs back and see if you can get your vertebrae to disappear into your body here. If you can't, no problem, bend your knees a little. Take your opposite hand and hold the back of your leg, and then recreate that action. Uddiyana Bandha, move your belly back and lift it. Move the front of your ribs back and see if you can get your vertebrae to move in here. That's what we're going for. Gets us the natural curves of our spine. Then take your right hand. If your knees are bent, hold the backs of both legs. And everybody really work for that. So the danda, the staff, it's not just our legs, but it's our upper body as well. Work to make it stable, strong, supportive. If your legs are straight, bend your knees. Then everybody stretch your arms up. Knees bent. Fold forward, bring your chest onto your legs, and hold outside your feet. If you find it uncomfortable to have your chest pressing into your legs, separate your feet a little bit more until you can find a little more space and until it's not too compressive. But I want your chest touching your legs, or roughly thereabout. Then push down with your hands, lengthen through your spine. And sigh. Move the space around your belly in towards your navel, back towards your spine, and up into the bottom of your ribs a little. And then relax your upper body. Hang your head down. This is a stage of Paschimottanasana, or seated forward fold. You may stay here. This is a really good place to be. Or, if you can keep your chest and your legs touching, you can move your feet away a little. I want you to keep your chest and legs touching as your priority, rather than legs straight. If you can do legs straight and keep your chest and thighs touching, you may, absolutely. But this isn't about going to the deepest forward fold you can. It's about working to create stability in your body. And stability happens more on the center ground than on the edges of our life. Push down with your hands, pull back with your hands, tone your belly, lift it a little into the bottom of your ribs, and lengthen your spine away from your hips. Paschimottanasana. And then sit up. Move your left leg over to the edge of your mat and bend your right leg. Bring your foot inside your left leg. Like tree pose, if you know tree pose, but it's a seated tree pose. And then place your hands on the ground behind you. Shift your hips just over to the right a little. Pull your left hip back. Turn and face your left leg. So that's just a really little movement. It's mostly to get your butt unstuck. Tone your belly. Move the sides of your waist in. Move it back towards your spine. Lift into the bottom of your ribs. Stretch your arms up. Fold forward. Janu Shirshasana. If you can hold your left foot and keep your left leg straight, do. If you need to hold your leg closer to your knee to keep your legs straight, absolutely do that. Remember, I want you to be creating stability, not instability. I don't want you to be going to your edge and like pushing beyond it. I want you to work where you are stable. That's where we create and cultivate that stability. We need to work on ourselves first. I want you to help others. I want you to have strong relationships, have strong friendships, have strong relationships with everyone you work with, your family. But until you've done the work with yourself, those relationships are always going to have conflict. The work starts here. We create stability here so that our relationships can become more stable, so that we can go out into the world and help the world be more stable. Pull on your leg. Move your belly in and back towards your spine, and then lift it into the bottom of your rib cage so you can stretch longer through your spine. And fold over your left leg. Janu Shirshasana. Pull on your leg, lift your head and chest, and sit up. Stretch your right leg out straight. Bend your left leg. Bring your foot inside your right leg, and then place your hands down. Shift your hips just to the left a little. Really, it's the same thing. It's to unstick your butt from the ground a little bit. Turn and face your right leg. Straighten your right ankle. Draw your belly in and back. Lift it up, Uddiyana Bandha. Use that to stretch up through your spine and start to flex at your hips. Again, hold your leg wherever you can keep your right leg straight. So if it's your calf muscles, hold there. If you can hold your foot, hold there. Find the spot that's appropriate for you. Right leg straight, push your right heel down, push the back of your right knee down. Work to stretch your butt back behind you so you can stretch your spine out and over your right leg more. Tone your belly. Lift your belly into the bottom of your ribs. Lengthen your spine. Janu Shirshasana. And breathe here. Create stability here. Pull on your foot. Lift your head and chest. And then sit up. Keep your left leg as it is, but even open it up more. Move your left knee over to the left. Bend your right knee. Turn your right leg out and bring the soles of your feet together. Just gonna turn so that I'm facing the camera, but you can sit wherever you are. If in Dandasana you needed to bend your knees, I recommend that you sit on something here to help you find that same tilt in your pelvis. It can be your yoga mat rolled up and stuck under your butt. It can be a cushion. It can be a yoga blanket or block. Anything that you can comfortably sit on. You can always pause the video, go grab something to sit on, and come back. Push your feet together and sit up tall. We're working to create that same length in our lower back and length in our whole spine. Baddha Konasana. Cobbler's pose or shoemaker pose or butterfly pose, this is even called sometimes. Tighten up in your butt. So hug your butt in so that you can stretch out through your knees a little bit more. It doesn't matter how close your knees get to the ground. That is not the point. Uddiyana Bandha. Let that be your point today. Create your stability there in your body. Draw your belly in and back. Lift it up so you can upward fly. So you can fly up in your body. Uddiyana. Lift your knees. Bring your knees together. Wrap your arms around your legs. Here you can round your back. Give yourself a little hug. This is really to prepare you for the next pose. Give yourself a little hug and you're like, oh, Stephen's so nice. This is such a nice class. In some ways it is. In some ways the next pose is toe crusher. What's that? All right, so come up onto your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. And then push through your hands just a little bit, pick your knees up, and get all of your toes down onto your mat. Then stretch your knees back towards your feet as you bring them back down. Obviously, they won't really come back towards your feet, but it's to really tighten up what's happening in front of your ankles, front of your shins. And then sit on your heels. Your baby toes, they probably came out of the toe crushing, so tuck them in a little. This is toe crusher. Good times. I don't know many people that sit in this pose and think, oh, this is a nice relaxing pose. So what you're feeling, that's what this pose does for you. It helps stretch the soles of your feet though. It helps stretch your calf muscles. It helps stretch your fascia that's tight in your legs. It's good for you. Trust me. Draw your belly in a little. Move your belly back towards your spine and lift it so you can lift up through your spine. That's going to increase the pressure down into your toes, but that's okay. We're only here for a little bit. Breathe. Enjoy it. You can make sound effects here like, oh, or oh God, or curse at me, whatever helps you get through this. And then walk forward. Well, lean forward. Bring your hands to the ground. Untuck your toes. Place the tops of your feet on the ground. Tuck your butt underneath you. And then step one foot forward. Step the other foot forward. Turn your toes out and come down into the squat. If the squat isn't possible for you, that's fine. Take a seat, stretch your legs out, and work in Dandasana, or the snack pose. And you can just stay there for a moment while we're here. Or you can go back to toe crusher if you like that. Or you can go back to Baddha Konasana, feet together, knees wide. Those are all good options. For those of us doing Malasana, walk your arms down inside your legs. And use that to wiggle in and turn and twist and pull your chest through a little more. Bring your hands to prayer. Your back rounds here. That is natural. But let's work to create a little more stability in our body. Draw your belly in from the sides. Move your belly back towards your spine. And then lift it into the bottom of your ribs so you can lift up through your spine a little more. Squeeze your legs into your arms. Push your arms back into your legs. And then place one hand on the ground. Place the other hand on the ground out in front of you. Slide your hands forward and bow your head. Take your upper body low. Stretch your hands forward. And then keep your body low. Pull your elbows back so that your arms are a little lower on your legs. And bring your hands back into prayer. All you have to do of this next work is what you can do. Place your hands on the ground in front of you. Rock back a little, rock forward a little. What I want you to do is lift your heels. So rock back, rock forward, get a little lift of your heels, and then get to a spot where you can lift your heels and stay there. Yeah. And then what I'm doing is wiggling a little, getting the connection between my upper arms and my legs strong.
Squeeze your legs into your arms. Push your arms back into your legs. Keep your arms and legs connected. Lift your butt. So you're opening your knee joint, not moving your knees back. Lift your heels and roll forward even more. Keep your legs and your arms connected. And then if you're like me, you're probably rounded in quite a bit, even looking back towards your feet. Instead, look forward. Lean forward. Push into your hands. Tone your Uddiyana Bandha. Draw your belly in and back, lift it into your ribs so you can stretch your chest forward, and then bring your right foot off the ground. Bend your right knee to bring it up. Bring your right foot down. Bend your left knee to bring it up. Bring your left foot down. If you can do both feet off the ground for Kakasana or Bakasana, you can do that here. Or bring your right foot off the ground. Lean forward, roll onto your left tiptoes. Maybe play with left foot off the ground, left foot down, up, down. Then right toes down. Lift your left foot. Lean forward. Tone your Uddiyana Bandha and play with right toes up and down, right toes up and down. See if you can get stable enough to bring both feet off the ground. And then bring both feet down and come into downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Push through your fingertips. That'll help stretch out your wrists. Bring your knees down to the ground. Oh yeah. Swing your legs around to one side. Sit on your butt, stretch your legs out. Just a couple more poses. Stretch your left leg out straight. Cross your right leg over your left. This is stage 1 of Ardha Matsyendrasana. If you can go further and you can lean to the left and bend your left leg and bring it underneath your right butt, you can do that. So it's left leg underneath, right leg on top, or left leg straight. Take your right hand back behind you. Stretch your left arm up, tone your belly, lift it up, and twist. Push your left arm into your right leg, move your shoulders back, and do your Uddiyana Bandha again. Belly in and back, and lift it, so you can lift up long through your spine. Ardha Matsyendrasana. And steady your breath. Untwist. Uncross if your left leg, bend, straighten it, and then uncross your right leg. Bend your left leg, step it up and over your right leg. And if you want to go into the further expression of the pose, lean to your right, turn your right knee over to the right, and then bend your left leg and bring it in. So it looks like this. I'll do this version for this side so you can see that if you're watching. Take your left hand back behind you, stretch your right arm up. And tone your belly, lift into your ribs, and twist to the left. Touch your right arm outside your left leg, and do a gentle twist. Move your shoulders back. And again, Uddiyana Bandha. Tone your belly, draw it in and lift up. Ardha Matsyendrasana, or half Lord of the Fishes pose. And then untwist. Straighten your bottom leg. Straighten your top leg. Lie down. Bend your knees. Place your feet on the ground. Bring your head and shoulders to the ground. Have your feet about hip distance apart. Pretty close to your hips. Close enough that you can touch your heels. And then push your feet down. Lift your hips up. Underneath you, hold your hands. And then rock from side to side in your shoulders and walk your shoulders in. Turn your upper arms out and push your arms down. Tuck your butt and lift your hips. Setu Bandha, Sarvangasana, also known as bridge pose. It's a nice chance to
Stretch it out. Little chance to reset. Push your shoulders down, lift through your chest, tuck your butt, lift through your hips. And then come down. Bring your knees into your chest, lift your head, wrap your arms around your legs. You can rock from side to side or back and forth. You can even open up this a bit and move your knees away. Hold the tops of your knees and bring your head and shoulders to the ground and rock a little. Maybe make little circles with your lower back. Whatever feels right. And then slow it down. Bring your feet to the ground. Bring your arms to the ground. Bring your head and shoulders to the ground. Turn your palms up at your sides. Stretch your legs out. Shavasana. If you need to adjust at all, adjust as you need. Separate your feet. Allow your legs to turn out. Tuck your shoulders in a little bit so you can rest the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips, your heels, and even the backs of your arms and your hands. Rest onto your mat, onto the floor. Rest in yourself. Relax your eyes or close your eyes. Relax your breath. We'll just stay here for a little longer. Start to deepen your breath a little. Move through your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath a little more. Allow your belly to move with your breath. Put a lot of work into stabilizing our belly. Let it go here. Just move. Move your breath through your body. Wiggle your hips a little. Wiggle your shoulders a little. And bend your knees. And turn onto your side. And use your arms. Use the power of your upper body. And press yourself up. And come back to a seated position. And sit up tall. Look down at the ground. Or close your eyes. We work to cultivate stability in our body and in our life when we practice.
We work for this so that we can step into our life fully. Part of that is to step into the role of serving, helping your children, your partner, your workmates, your parents, and your community. That work has to start here with you. You have to practice stability. You have to cultivate stability so that you can share, serve, and take part. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for practicing today. Thank you. Thanks for practicing with me today. If you'd like to continue this process of grounding, of practice stability, you can click there and sit with me for a meditation. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please just click my picture right over there to subscribe. If you've got any questions, put it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Thanks. See you soon.